If you don't embrace the emotion and feel it through your body, and you just try and tuck it away and not deal with it, how can you be healthy?
Lately I'm in good.
Yes, a young man around the age of 11, he came to me and he was seeking some understanding of an emotion he was feeling. So he said to me, he said, I don't think that a family member likes me.
Okay.
And so, I asked him, why would you feel that? So he said someone had told him, a friend of his had told him that this family member was talking about him and he didn't understand it. So I went on to explain to him, as I always do, about emotions.
Okay.
I told him that I'm sure that the person who may have said this didn't mean any harm to you.
Okay.
I told him that, are there things that he feels he needs to work on?
Interesting.
I listed a few things, and I asked him, do you feel you need to work on any of these things? And his reaction was no.
Interesting.
So I said to him, are you sure? To have him really think about it. And what I did was I used myself as an example.
Okay.
And I stressed to him that we should always strive for self-improvement. So then I asked him again, after I gave him my example, I asked him again, do you feel that there's anything you need to work on? And then he paused for a minute and he said, yeah. He said, there is some things I could work on. I noticed that he was sad. I noticed that he was confused a little bit because he couldn't understand how is it that a family member, because he brought the question to me, he said, I understand what you're saying, but a family member? So he couldn't understand that emotions affects everyone. It doesn't have to be, someone distant. It doesn't have to be a friend from school or someone you play with outside, So I think just by explaining to him that emotions affects everyone, and it doesn't really matter if they're family or not. So I think by focusing on his emotions, rather than bashing the person who said it, it's helping him deal with other situations that he may come across. I wanted to give him a point of view of what he was feeling at the time and why he was feeling it. And I also wanted him to understand the person who said it, their emotions. So I told him that, it's important for him. And I know that some people may not take this route because they feel like, once again, I mentioned before that they may not feel that the child is ready, or they may not feel that the child is old enough. But we should always strive very early on to teach our children about emotions. As I was talking to him, I also asked him how did he want to deal with the situation. So, letting him think about it,
Okay.
I told him would he like to confront the person, because I told him he has a voice.
Yeah.
I told him that you can approach this person in a respectful way and not to cause confrontation.
Yeah,
you can ask her,
exactly.
Is there something about me that, upsets you?
Yeah.
And do you feel like there's something that I need to work on?
Yeah.
I also posed another question to him. I said, what do you think would happen if you were to go to her and ask her if she said these things about you? Or if I was to go to her and ask her, if she said these things about you, what do you think her response would be? And he said she would deny it.
Okay.
He said that she would say, no, I didn't say it, or, no, I don't mean it this way. I thought that was interesting that what he did was he played the scenario out in his mind, and it showed me that he understands how people think. So I thought that was very, a good thing on his part. That he's working through his emotions, that he's trying hard to understand, what he's feeling. And I think right at this point, this is when parents should really help children, guide them about their emotions. I'm sure we've been in plenty of situations where our children were frustrated or didn't understand something. And who is there? Who is there to guide them? Who is there to show them? Who is there to help them work through what it is they're feeling? I posed another question to him. I asked him, who do you think is at fault here? Who do you think did the wrong thing? And let's keep in mind that he received the information from a friend. So I asked him, who do you think was in the wrong? And first he said, you know, the family member. But then I corrected him. I said, no, it was the friend. Because what good can come out of telling somebody something negative? You know, I told him that information, his friend should have never come to him with that. And I told him the next time someone comes to him, it doesn't matter who it is, if they come to him with something that's not going to keep them on a path of righteousness, or if it's not going to keep them positive, tell them I don't want to hear it. He didn't say anything when I told him that, because I think what he was doing was taking it all in. He was trying to see where, you know, what was I talking about? You know, how could it be? Because the first person that he blamed was the person who said it. I also told him to stand stern on his beliefs, stand stern on the things that you decide on. And I told him, as long as you do right by yourself, you strive for righteousness and do right by others, no one can come into your cipher. That's what I told him. You know, and it took a minute, you know, because he just, you know, still trying to work through his emotions.
Yeah.
And, you know, he kept coming up with different examples of being in different situations. At this point, I think he worked through, you know, the whole situation with the family member and the friend. Okay. So now he posed a few questions. What if I'm in this situation? Yeah. What if I'm in that situation?
Interesting.
And that was all because we had this conversation. You know, you have to be open. Yeah, open up the feelings, get them talking about it, so that they can understand what's going on within them, so that they can know how to handle it. I told him it's about knowing how to react to the emotion, you know, and just take a minute and step back from the situation. Don't go to a level where this person is trying to get to you. They're trying to say things that they feel is going to get you worked up. I told him to just remove yourself from the situation. You know, take a minute, step back, and help yourself handle the situation right, or, you know, the most effective way. I think what a lot of our children do is that they respond from their first emotion. If someone upsets them, they want to strike back in violence, or, you know, they want to hurt the other person's feelings. So I think if we guide our children in helping them understand their emotions, we're giving them other ways to handle the situations, and then we could cut back on violence. I told him that use your words. I said your words are very powerful. He's listening. I mean, by this time we were in a conversation for a pretty long time, and I noticed that his body language was different. I noticed that he no longer looked sad. He no longer talked in a low voice. He was confident. He was happy. You know, because I think, you know, just by explaining this information to him, he didn't know. If he didn't have that outlet to know that he could come to someone that will help him understand what he's feeling, he would have been all this time thinking that this family member didn't care for him. I know that some parents may be thinking, you know, oh, I can't do this with my child, you know, because my child acts this way or my child acts that way, or they'll never listen. But they are listening. You know, it's about how you go about doing it. You know, something else I told him when I asked him the question, do you feel there's things that you could work on? I told him that all I can do is give him the information and guide him, but he has to take the responsibility to use the information. He was silent, and his silence is good, you know, because that means they're taking it in. You notice that some people, what they do is they try and talk over you, or
they're not listening.
They're not listening. And I also noticed that it helped our relationship also, because after it was over, I think we both were feeling very good, very positive, very happy, and it helped with us emotionally.
Excellent.
We both were feeling good. We were expressing love with each other, which is always there, but to express it in a way where after we worked through something was it was beautiful. I felt really, really good. Really good. The reason why I think that we can't help our children work through these emotions because we don't know how to work through them ourselves. You're never too young or too old to try and understand your emotions. I noticed that he would come to me and he would say, you know, are you feeling this way? You know, are you feeling upset? You know, are you feeling angry? Because he knows the tone in my voice. And then that helps me think about how I'm dealing with a situation and if I could deal with it better. Can I relate to him better? All these emotions, you should feel them. We're not saying that you shouldn't. All these emotions are a part of you. But how you handle them, how you deal with them is key. Feel each one of them, you know, because if you don't embrace the emotion and feel it through your body, and you just try and tuck it away and not deal with it, how can you be healthy? How can you? You need to release it from your body. You need to feel it and release it.
Genuine currency, love and loyalty. Jonathan Jackson of Redesse, only judge your mercy. Babylon, you made your point. Lightning.
Say cheese and strike a pose in the club and at the show. Camera check, let's go, come on. Say cheese, take a picture. It's a good time, just smile for the camera, come on. Say cheese, take a picture. You and all your fly girlfriends, that's with you, come on. Say cheese, take a picture. It's a good time, just smile for the camera, come on. Say cheese, take a picture. Pose for the flick, show off your outfit. Pose, when I point the camera, say cheese, and keep your head up, I'ma tell them. Say cheese, take a picture. It's a good time, smile for the camera. Say cheese, oh, you and all the fly girlfriends, that's with you, come on. Say cheese, take a picture. It's a good time, smile for the camera. Say cheese, take a picture. Pose for the flick, show off your outfit, hey. Come on, I can't see it. Turn me up, please. Come on, put those hands together.
Found that our wings had been clipped. But like Bird told Dizzy, now is the time. Like Martin and Malcolm told America, now is the time.
Is forever, forever worship you.
Classes for the children, do a bunch of art shows, sponsor art shows, and you know, produce t-shirts, clothing, and help others come out with their own art galleries if they must, or if they want, assist other artists to become more known.
People stick together, man.
What I need for you to do, I need
outdo this money, man. It's not always about money. Money's not real.
I want you guys to yell out, before you
all we need is each other.
1, 2, 3.
But it's hard to see it that way sometimes.
Once you come into the knowledge of who you are, you don't knock someone down just because they don't want to learn the information the way you did. You just, I mean, how can we build if you start looking down at the people when you were in the same situation, when you were at the same place? We shouldn't see each other as ignorant. We shouldn't see that.
I respect Asian fathers when I pump.
Sometimes we feel that we have come across something that has changed our lives, and so we try and use that same strategy or that same thing to help someone else's life. Whatever it may be, you know, if we join an organization or we discover our spirituality through religion, I think sometimes we use that same strategies like, hey, it worked for me, so let me use that to bring someone else to the same light that I have. We tend to lose a lot of people that could be helpful because people may tend to not want to take that route. The goal is the same, but they don't want to take that route. If we take everything out, if we take groups out, organizations out, religion out, just for a minute, just to focus on helping people help each other and build, we can build just by that. I'm not saying that we don't need the organizations to help us individually or to help us as a whole, but for those who feel